हेलो एवरीवन, नमस्ते,
हाँ,
हैप्पी राखी टू एवरीवन। आज
हाँ,
डिस्कस कर रहे हैं हम। एक्चुअली कल उसका 15th एनिवर्सरी हो गया था कंप्लीट,
हाँ,
विच इज
yeah,
द मूवी रॉक ऑन, एंड
हाँ,
which is the like written and directed by a guy called Abhishek Kapoor, and which
हाँ,
stars Farhan Akhtar, I think, in his debut movie. Yes, हाँ,
yes,
उनका डेब्यू
I think
एक्टिंग
yes,
मूवी
yes,
था।
acting
और
debut, yeah,
yes, or even which is an acting debut of Prachi Desai as well. वैसे also,
yeah,
and also starring Arjun Rampal, Purab Kohli, Shahana Goswami, and Luke Kenny as well. Okay, so yes, let's begin the conversation. But before beginning, please do subscribe to my channel. बहुत मेहनत लगता है यार ये सब वीडियोस बनाने में। लेकिन yes,
yeah,
first let's introduce the guest. Sadiq is like ही इज वेलकम एनी टाइम। कभी भी कोई हिंदी फिल्म में लाइक कुछ करना रहता है, लाइक ये बोलते कि चलो यस ही इज इन ऑलवेज। सो वैसे एंड लाइक काफी नॉलेज है उनको, लाइक मुझसे ज्यादा नॉलेज है, लाइक दो
थोड़ी
ही इज
सी,
नॉट फ्रॉम मुंबई, नॉट फ्रॉम इंडिया, लेकिन उनको मेरे से बॉलीवुड में ज्यादा नॉलेज है। तो वैसे
थोड़ी सी,
so yes, welcome Sadiq to my channel,
yeah,
welcome back, and
yeah,
Biswadeep, who यार अभी तो फ्रीक्वेंट बन गए, अभी ऑल स्टार बनने वाले हैं अभी तो।
कम
विश्वदीप
कम
इज
करना पड़ेगा
इज
अभी देखता हूँ। थोड़ा कम करना पड़ेगा।
exactly, no problem, but yes, thank you so much for guys for coming. Let's begin the conversation. Sadiq, आपने पहली बार ये फिल्म कब देखी थी? Just tell me about your first experience, और फिर जाके जब अगर रिवॉच किए है obviously,
yeah,
तो उसका एक्सपीरियंस क्या था लाइक वैसे?
yeah. So I watched this film वही अगस्त में ही देखा था या सितंबर में देखा था 2008 में. I don't actually remember the month, but उसी टाइम पे 2008 में ही देखा था अगस्त सितंबर आई गेस. और जब ये फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी नया नया, और I was very excited to watch Farhan Akhtar as an actor because I really enjoyed his movies. दिल चाहता है was good, अच्छी थी, मतलब मुझे बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी नहीं लगी थी. But I was highly impressed by his movie लक्ष्य, जो लक्ष्य उसने बनाई थी. And my brother specifically, he really loved it and he was very impressed by Farhan Akhtar. So that's why हम लोग बहुत excited थे फरहान को देखने में as a lead actor. Then अर्जुन रामपाल बहुत improve कर गया था after ओम शांति ओम. So I was excited to watch him too. And पूरब कोहली तो एपी पूरे में आता था long back. और फिर ये जो लूक का जो कैरेक्टर लूक लूक जो था, आई मीन ये था. और बाकी जो रॉब बना था, क्योंकि केडी आई थिंक वो था जो ड्रमर, और जो
पूरा
रॉब बना
पूरी
था, या पूरा पुल एग्जैक्टली. और जो रॉब बना था, दैट गाय जिसको थोड़ा हेल्थ इशू भी होता है, तो कोई क्रॉनिक इलनेस होती है वो, उसका मुझे नहीं पता था. आई वाज वेरी एक्साइटेड टू वॉच दिस फिल्म. और उस जमाने में आई वाज लिसनिंग टू रॉक एंड पॉप सॉन्ग्स टू, तो मैं देखना चाह रहा था मूवी में कैसा नजर आएगा. एंड आई वाज हाईली इम्प्रेस्ड बाय दिस मूवी. आई मीन मुझे कोई हाई एक्सपेक्टेशंस नहीं थी, मैंने सोचा था चलो अच्छी होगी, बट इट फार exceeded my expectations, far. And the soundtrack was amazing. Like अभी भी till now 15 years from that, सिंबाद द सेलर स्पेसिफिकली मैं आज भी सुनता हूँ. And I really love it. बाकी गाने भी सुनता हूँ, but Sindra the Sailor has been a constant throughout the last 15 years. So amazing movie. And Abhishek Kapoor, उसको आई थिंक एज एन एक्टर मैंने देखा था किसी मूवी में, बट मैं उससे इम्प्रेस, मतलब उसकी एक्टिंग मुझे पसंद नहीं आई, बट आई वाज हाईली सरप्राइज कि उसने एज अ डायरेक्टर इतना अच्छा काम किया. तो या अमेजिंग मूवी.
विश्वदीप, आपका कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा इन वॉचिंग दिस फिल्म एंड री वॉचिंग दिस फिल्म?
Um, Hi everyone. Thanks Sanket. Thanks Sadiq. So I think Rock On was a movie that was
Yeah,
out of the ordinary. I mean, I didn't have, like Sadiq said, I didn't have high expectations from the movie. But the only reason it was noteworthy before its release, I mean, it was grabbing some eyeballs, was because it was Farhan Akhtar's debut. Um, so Farhan Akhtar, I have a question before I continue. Did Farhan Akhtar sing a song before he sung songs in this movie, or was this his singing debut as well? I think this was his singing debut as well,
I
right? I mean, it
guess.
was only Dil Chahta Hai and Laksh
हाँ,
2
हो
was great
सकता है।
before Rock On, right?
हाँ,
So yes, I think I was excited by the fact that Farhan Akhtar is debuting in this movie, and then like Sadiq said, Arjun Rampal was post Om Shanti Om days for him, where he had impressed everyone, right? So a couple of actors who were noteworthy, and I somehow I love Purav Kohli for some reason. I mean, I've always liked that guy. Uh, uh,
Yes.
uh, so I think, I mean, as a sidekick, I mean, that's what he has done all his life. I think he's one of the best sidekicks Bollywood has seen. That's what I feel, and the most underused one, right?
Very
And
true.
I think, in a way, I would say that, it was not like a movie that I was very crazy about. I was like willing to watch because it was going to break grounds. B, it was going to be very refreshing for trying to make a sort of a music based fabric kind of a film, which we normally don't see, which we had not
Yeah.
seen in Bollywood until then, right?
Yeah.
So I think I wasn't excited for these facts. These all things came into my mind later after watching it. As a simple fact, I was like, ठीक है, अगर फरहान अख्तर का debut है, and this is a guy who's made Dil Chahta Hai and Laksh. So I think there would be something different, something unique about it. And we never heard of a band, a four-member, a band who have a story to tell, and then there is a whole movie based on that. I mean, I do love movies based centered around bands like The Thing You Do. It's one of my favorite movies.
That Thing You Do,
Uh,
yes. I think Tom Hanks की
The Thing You
directed
Do.
movie है.
Tom Hanks movie. It's one of the most sweetest and cute little movie that I would say is it's entirely based on again a similar concept, but we had never seen this in Hindi cinema. So I think once the movie came out, I saw it again. I don't remember the month. It was somewhere in 2008. I didn't watch it on the big screen. It took me a while at that point of time to watch it. But once I watched it, in fact, I remember I watched it one and a half times. So I watched it once. I liked it. I started rewatching it again after 8 to 10 days. I used to do this back then. I wasn't working, right? So I had a lot of time. I rewatched it again. I went to probably say somewhere later than interval, and so basically I literally watched it like one and a half times in a span of like 2 weeks. Uh, and I loved Rock On. It was very refreshing. It was something that was very different from what we had seen until then, and I think it's kind of a stamp on the fact that Hindi cinema was undergoing a change, something which I believe Dil Chahta Hai got into the scheme of things, and again it was Farhan Akhtar at the center of it. So I think this is in a way one of the most uh, monumental moments I would say in changing Hindi cinema.
Absolutely, फरहान द बेस्ट सिंगर. अभी भी
I
अच्छे अच्छे
love
सिंगर है,
song.
मैं उनके सॉन्ग्स एब्सोल्युटली. मैंने एक्चुअली ये फिल्म थिएटर में तो नहीं देखी थी यार. मतलब 15 साल पहले कहाँ पे ऐसे कुछ अकेले थिएटर में
तू
जाऊँ,
पैदा ही नहीं
लेकिन
होता ना.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. लेकिन यस, मैंने थिएटर में नहीं देखी थी ये फिल्म, लेकिन जब भी मैंने लाइक फोन में देखी थी. मैंने आई थिंक फोन में देखी थी मैंने काफी सालों
Same.
बाद. आई वॉज क्वाइट इम्प्रेस्ड कि ऐसे कुछ फिल्म बनी है. इट्स लाइक अ कूल कॉन्सेप्ट. जैसे दिल चाहता है था, वैसे वैसा कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट था, लाइक फ्रेंड्स जस्ट हैंगिंग आउट विद लाइक अदर फ्रेंड्स. एंड और मतलब मेन चीज वही है ना यार, कि पूरे दोस्त लोग कैसे हैंग आउट कर रहे हैं, और वैसे वो है. और इट्स आल्सो अबाउट द म्यूजिक एज वेल. और लेकिन उसके पहले मैंने इसके गाने सुने थे, लाइक आसमां है नीला क्यों पानी, वो वाला सोचा सोचा है. लाइक इट वाज क्वाइट अ फेमस सॉन्ग एट लाइक 15 साल पहले, 15-14 साल पहले, जहाँ पे हम लोग बराबर से गाते नहीं थे आसमां है नीला. लाइक वो कुछ भी हम लोग गाते थे, लेकिन बस वो जस्ट थोड़ा सा लाइन हम लोग गाते थे. उतना मुझे याद है इस फिल्म के गाने के बारे में. लेकिन रॉक ऑन जो एक्चुअल थीम लाइक गाना है, उसके लाइक उसका इतना बोलते ना फेमस जैसा नहीं था, कंपेयर टू
नहीं था.
एज कंपेयर टू सोचना है, वैसे था. सो लाइक कमिंग बैक टू दिस फिल्म, जस्ट मैंने देखा था. इट फेल्ट लाइक अ फ्रेश एयर जब मैंने देखा, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली ऐसे जैसे बिस्वा ने मेंशन किया था कि ऐसे फिल्म्स अबाउट म्यूजिक एटलीस्ट इंडिया में तो हार्डली कुछ बने हैं.
नहीं.
इसके बाद कुछ वो लंदन ड्रीम्स जैसा कुछ बना था, जो मैंने थोड़ा कुछ देखा था.
ना,
लाइक
अच्छी फिल्म नहीं थी. London Dreams was a horrible remake of Amadeus. Forgetful. Totally forgetful.
कौन सी फिल्म का रीमेक था, मुझे नहीं पता.
Amadeus मतलब इंस्पायर्ड थी. Amadeus अगर आपने मूवी देखी हो ना, Amadeus वो एंटोनियो सेलियरी और वो मोजार्ट के ऊपर
यस,
जो थी Amadeus, उसके
करेक्ट
ऊपर
करेक्ट
थी.
करेक्ट. ओके.
I haven't watched it, but
1984
I've
की
heard of
मूवी.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 80s movie. Even
तो
Rock On
yeah.
was inspired Sadiq, if you are aware of it. I'm not too sure.
मैं अभी पढ़ रहा था तो कह रहे साउथ कोरियन मूवी थी हैप्पी फैमिली, उसकी रीमेक है. मतलब
It's
इंस्पायर्ड
it's
है.
a
हाँ. but ये अच्छी
It's a
बनी थी.
happy life. It's a happy
Happy
life.
Life, Happy. Sorry, my bad. Happy Life, yeah.
Life.
Okay,
Happy
so
Life.
It
but
was inspired loosely from the South Korean musical
Happy
drama.
Life,
yeah.
yes, yes. South Korean movie,
बट
Happy
स्टिल
Life.
जब लाइक एक पहले फ्रेम से जैसे लाइक
हाँ,
कहते हैं कि क्या एक लोग लाइक जैमिंग कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे और
हाँ,
इट्स लाइक इट्स क्वाइट कि कैसे थोड़े लोग ऐसे जस्ट अपना बैंड
हाँ,
लेके जैम कर रहे हैं
हाँ,
इट्स लाइक क्या अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा था सबसे पहली बार मैं देख
हाँ,
रहा था और
yeah.
इवेंचुअली जब मैंने लाइक इन मैटर ऑफ मंथ्स में रीवॉच कर रहा था इतना ऐसा हो गया था क्योंकि लाइक इट वाज सो कूल और उन लोग वो जो कैरेक्टर्स थे वो भी ऐसे ही समझ रहे थे अपने आप को कि लाइक 20-25 साल की उम्र में तो हमको ऐसे ही लगता है कि दुनिया हमारे इशारों पे नाचती है और लाइक आई डोंट नो और सच में ये महसूस होता है यार क्योंकि मैं खुद 20-25 साल का इंसान हूँ अभी और लाइक वी कैन फील कि लाइक व्हाट इज द एनर्जी अराउंड कि लाइक if you want to become something like let's just say a filmmaker or a musician वैसे तो अगर कोई वो फैंस वगैरह कुछ आते हैं you get some attraction सब वैसे so like तब जाके you know that okay yes I am something वैसे um, so it's quite good feeling जब मैंने देखा था वैसे actually so एक like थोड़े comments यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं just I want to read it out as well from Sadiq Jamil. Rogan was mostly targeted towards the young crowd and who did not want to have a band and be part of a band. Therefore, everyone connected with Rogan absolutely.
Very true.
इसलिए क्योंकि it was a young like बोलते हैं ना कि early 20s वाली story जो उन लोग यहाँ पे प्ले परफॉर्म करते हैं वहाँ पे इट वाज क्वाइट अ गुड एक्सपीरियंस जब मैंने पहली बार ये एक गाना था नारा ना ना वो एक गाना था मैं नाम भूल रहा हूँ वो गाना के पहले पहले मेरी लॉन्ड्री का एक
पिछले
दिल वाला जो
पिछले सा, पिछले 7 दिनों
पिछले
में.
7 दिनों में
यस दैट्स राइट सो जब वो गाना सबसे पहली बार वो परफॉर्म हो रहा था वहाँ पे मैं खुद भी वो कोरस में से गा रहा था लाइक इट वाज लाइक वो कि बैंड तो फिक्शनल है और खैर ये तो फिल्म है लेकिन फिर भी अ, ये चीज़ आगे आगे लाइक उन लोग ऐसा इंस्पायर कर रहे थे बोलने के लिए कि पब्लिक ऐसे करे और उन इतना अट्रैक्ट कर दिया था मुझे एज अ व्यूअर जस्ट नॉट जस्ट इन वाचिंग इन द थिएटर बट वाचिंग इन अ स्मॉल स्क्रीन वैसे इट वाज जस्ट अमेजिंग एंड लाइक आप लोग तो ऑब्वियसली काफ़ी एटलीस्ट थोड़े एक्सपेक्टेशन से थे कि लाइक ओके फरहान अख्तर ने पहले लक्ष्य बनाई है डॉन बनाई है और दिल
डॉन,
चाहता है
यस.
बनाई है मुझे तो यार ये सब पता ही नहीं थे लाइक आई न्यू फरहान अख्तर जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा देखने के बाद फिर जाके पता चला सो वैसे सो इट वाज क्वाइट अ गुड एक्सपीरियंस फॉर मी वैसे it so this film is all about music and the magic of music and as we called as I just called Biswa आपको इस फिल्म का म्यूजिक कैसा लगा था the songs everything about the music
I have one word for the music of this film. It's Kadak. So back then when it released, I think I don't remember. I think it was MTV or what was the
Yes,
other
yes.
channel? Like, there was another
MTV and
channel,
Channel V.
channel V
and there
yes
was one more Sadiq. मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है. Again, I mean, there were so many basically, right? Subah subah you'll get to see all those 90s songs and
9XM तो नहीं था.
9XM yes
9XM.
9XM
हाँ,
9XM. I think this was that period when these channels were pretty much on at my house all the time, and movies used to release songs on these channels at that point of time. It was a
हाँ,
practice, right? और उस पे गाने आते थे and we used to I think I don't remember but yeah, Rock On was the first song that came, and the reason I remembered it struck to me immediately because it had the typical music that was used in Lakshya as a theme music, right?
हाँ, हाँ,
Right? If you guys remember. So ding
yeah
ding 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 ding. That music was a part of the action scenes that
हाँ,
culminated towards the end in Luck when Ritik climbs that top to fight the enemies and that point of time.
yes.
So so Farhan Akhtar has this habit of taking something from one of his movies and then building or making it into or rather continuing it in spirit or
Just
making it associated with another movie, right? For
just
example,
like forgot. Yeah.
yeah,
No, no,
yeah, yeah, just like
just like there was a line "Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara" in the Rock On song, and he used that
Yes,
in the title for Zoya's next movie,
exactly.
"Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara."
Hindi Namali Dobara. Yeah, so they have this habit, and so I think the first song that was released was Rock On. It was hardly a 4 minute song, if I'm not wrong. Or उस जमाने में you know I that music was pretty good. It was pretty inspiring. I think Laksh के time पे ही that music was there. I mean, it's something that I could hear again and again. And I love original soundtracks. I mean, I love this background music. That's something that really
Yes,
strikes a chord with me. So I think
very
once I
true.
had this song out, it was very interesting, and then it was very different because it had Farhan's voice. It's not a regular voice. Farhan has a very different, a very unique voice, and uh, I don't know, for some reason I find it extremely uh, you know I would say though it is different, I think it's extremely it's something that I can relate to. It's something that I've heard people talking like amongst myself. So I think it's very relatable. Like that if I really have to do that, like I'm struggling for words here. But I love Farhan's voice. I love this particular theme music, and then this song came out to the market, and I think it was a hit straight away. Eventually बाद में बाकी सारे गाने हैं जैसे संकेत was mentioning about पिछले 7 दिनों में how it had catchy tunes about the lyrics mentions what are the things that you have done, your to-do list, and how you are going about your day-to-day lives and capturing these things and making it into a song. So I think overall the music was extremely good. Like Sadiq even said that he's very fond of Sindbad the Sailor, which he hears till date. Uh, I think the best part about the music of this movie would be that one phase, that one part in within the song Sindbad the Sailor, when they sing the particular track Tum Ho To.
Tum Ho To, yes. Where Arjun
Tum Ho To.
Rampal, I
I
think,
think
was doing
Arjun
that.
Rampal. So in the script, I think Arjun Rampal creates this song as a dedication to his girlfriend, played by Shahana,
Shana
then
Guzman.
girlfriend. Yeah,
Uh,
Shana Goswami, and this is omitted as part of the in the final album that they are creating, and I think this creates a rift between them, if I'm not wrong.
uh,
तो ये गाना उसके
uh,
लिए बहुत important होता है, and it's a very slow track, but it's a very very beautiful track. I think even if somebody is watching this podcast, please listen to Tum Ho To. I think it's one of the most beautiful songs that has ever come out in cinema. So I think that sums up the music bit for me. I think it was a big hit, and I'm not surprised.
हम्म।
and
अच्छा,
I
सादिक
want
बोलते
to
थे।
I want to carry forward on what Biswa just said. That Tum Ho To was the most important part of that song, Sinbad the Sailor, because Farhan was, singing that song. That from all of a sudden Arjun Rapal comes and Farhan welcomes him and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please, मेरा दोस्त, मेरा भाई, Mascarenes
Yeah,
उसका जो नाम होता है, I forgot his name."
sure.
उसके बाद
जो
अच्छा जो
जो
exactly जो Mascarenes. फिर अचानक से वो आता है and he starts singing Tum Ho To for his wife Shana Goswami and all. और उसमें भी इफ यू सी थ्रू आउट द मूवी तो शाहाना और अर्जुन का फाइट चलता रहता है, हालांकि इवन दे हैव अ सन, बट शाहाना वाज नॉट हैप्पी विद अर्जुन के वो लाइफ में सक्सेसफुल नहीं हुआ, एंड उसके अदर फ्रेंड स्पेसिफिकली फरहान अख्तर, वो जो बाद में पता चलता है कि ही इज वेरी सक्सेसफुल। तो वो चीज काफी वो थी, और एंड में वो चीज अच्छी लगी कि चलो उन दोनों का वो पैचअप वगैरह हो जाता है, जो प्रॉब्लम्स थे वो सॉल्व हो जाते हैं। दैट वाज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट। एंड मुझे प्राची प्राची देसाई के कैरेक्टर के बारे में बताना है। प्राची देसाई का कैरेक्टर वाज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, कि शी रियलाइज्ड कि जो फरहान है, जो प्रोफेशनली तो बहुत आगे निकल गया है, बट ही स्टिल हैज दैट लविंग एंड अटैचमेंट फॉर हिज फ्रेंड्स एंड फॉर हिज म्यूजिक एंड ऑल। और वो जब वो गाना आता है ना, ये तुम्हारी मेरी बातें हमेशा यूं ही चलती रहे, तो that was probably the most beautiful part of the movie, and probably the most beautiful song of that film, जो बड़ा ही जबरदस्त है, जो सबको कनेक्ट करता है। That was very
I
beautiful.
think I think the beauty of this movie was in the fact that every song had a meaning to it. Every song was
Exactly.
not just any other song in a narrative. Every song had
Yeah.
a reason to be there where it was. I mean, where story को आगे खींच के लेके नहीं जा रहा था. It was also a story in itself. So I think that
Uh,
was the beauty of Rock On. I mean, that's the whole point when I think one of the reviewers said, it created a sort of a scenario when it blended music with the fabric of cinema as a story, as a narrative. I
yeah.
think this is what he or she meant exactly.
Very true.
एक्चुअली और लाइक जैसे बिस्वा ने अभी बात की थी दैट थिंग यू डू करके, उनको ये काफ़ी पसंद आता है। इट्स अ फिल्म अबाउट म्यूजिक, और कोई फ़िल्म जैसे रिकमेंडेशंस आपके दिमाग में आते हैं जो इट्स ऑल अबाउट लाइक इट्स अबाउट द म्यूज़िक एज़ वेल? एक चीज़ एक एक मूवी है मेरे दिमाग में, मुझे काफ़ी इट्स वन ऑफ माय पर्सनल फेवरेट फ़िल्म्स ऑफ ऑल टाइम व्हिच इज़ ऑलमोस्ट
I know it is.
फेमस।
I know. Oh, I thought it's Rock On 2.
नहीं
Yeah,
अरे नहीं, नहीं, नहीं साहब नहीं, वो तो देखी नहीं है ख़ैर, वो तो देखी नहीं है लेकिन ऑलमोस्ट फ़ेमस जो हॉलीवुड में बनी थी, इट्स रिटन एंड डायरेक्टेड बाय कैमरन क्रो
yeah.
एंड इट्स अबाउट हिज़ एक्सपीरियंस वर्किंग विथ रोलिंग स्टोन मैगज़ीन। और पूरी फ़िल्म
Oh,
उसके बारे में कि लाइक वो कैसे एक बैंड के साथ मतलब पूरे टूर में जाते हैं, लाइक उनकी एक बस रहती है, पूरी बैंड की एक बस रहती है और लाइक रोलिंग स्टोन उनको हायर करते हैं कि तुम बैंड के साथ जाओ और पूरा लाइक टाइम स्पेंड करो। और वो बंदा रहता है कितना 15-16 साल का लाइक एक लड़का रहता है और उसको एक वंस इन अ लाइफ टाइम अपॉर्चुनिटी ऐसा मिलता है और लाइक ही makes the most out of it। और कैसे it's also about the real life experience of कैमरन क्रो कि जब भी उनको भी ऐसे एक मौका मिला था 70s 60s लाइक लेट 60s अर्ली 70s में रोलिंग थंडर लाइक रोलिंग स्टोन मैगजीन की तरफ से कि ऐसा कुछ कवर करे ऐसे इवेंट। सो इट्स हिज पर्सनल स्टोरी एंड लाइक वो एक ऐसी फीलिंग आ रही थी कि हाउ यू ट्रैवल विद द बैंड एंड हाउ व्हाट ऑल थिंग्स हैपन बैक स्टेज में, क्या-क्या होता है वैसे। और फिर जाके इस फ़िल्म में ऐसे पता चलती है कि व्हाट ऑल थिंग्स एक्चुअली डू हैपन लाइक बैक स्टेज, बैंड के बैक स्टेज में। कि एक सीन में ऐसा रहता है कि जस्ट अर्जुन रामपाल का कैरेक्टर वो एक लाइक एक अपने कॉम्पिटिटर को मार भी देता है, लाइक इट्स दैट पर्सनल लेवल एज वेल।
Yeah,
ये चीज़ ऑब्वियसली हमें किसको ज़्यादा नहीं पता रहती, लाइक फिल्म्स लाइक ऑलमोस्ट फेमस और रॉक ऑन ये सब चीज़ें दिखाती है
yeah,
एंड इट्स क्वाइट गुड टू सी दैट ये सब चीज़ इट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम
yeah,
हिंदी सिनेमा एज वेल। आई थिंक आई डोंट थिंक आगे कुछ ये लाइक लंदन ड्रीम्स तो नहीं पता, लेकिन आगे एक रॉकस्टार ही है जो इट्स
yes.
अबाउट म्यूजिक। और
हाँ,
इवन आई थिंक दिस वन एज वेल आशिकी टू, बट इट्स
हाँ,
एट द एंड वो भी एक रीमेक ही था
हाँ, हाँ,
स्टार इज बॉर्न का। सो
हाँ, yeah,
unofficial remake.
yeah, yeah. I know. और
so yes,
म्यूजिक पे एंड रॉक म्यूजिक पे देयर इज आल्सो अ मूवी बहुत अलग ही तरह की यूनिक है व्हिच इज कॉल्ड स्कूल ऑफ रॉक। वो रिचर्ड
Jack Black.
लिंक्लेटर में, जैक
Richard
ब्लैक
Linklater
एग्जैक्टली।
की
या रिचर्ड
It's a nice
लिंक्लेटर
comedy
बड़ी
movie.
फैंटास्टिक। वो अलग ही तरीके से म्यूजिक उन्होंने दिखाया उसमें।
I think
फैंटास्टिक है।
this central character played by Jack is emitted is removed from that band that he plays with, और वो किसी
हाँ,
स्कूल में सब्स्टिट्यूट टीचर बन के जाता है, and
सबसे
then he finds a few fourth graders और उनका एक बैंड बनाता है वो। So it's a nice comedy movie about
यस,
how they do it, how they come up with it. It's a nice movie. Jack Black is a
या
star, yeah, no doubt.
रियली रियली गुड मूवी।
सो और कोई ऐसे फ़िल्म्स आते हैं दिमाग में जो इट्स लाइक क्वाइट स्टैंड्स आउट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर जॉनर? सो ऑब्वियसली वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस फ़िल्म एंड दिस पर्टिकुलर जॉनर एज़ वेल। सो जस्ट वांटेड सम लाइक रिकमेंडेशन फ्रॉम यू गाइस। वैसे जैसे आपने दैटिंग यू डू बोला और मैंने जैसे ऑलमोस्ट फेमस बोला, जो बिस्वा, आपको ज़रूर देखना चाहिए ये फ़िल्म। लाइक इट्स
दैट्स अ गुड
I'll
मूवी है।
watch
अमेजिंग, इट्स अमेजिंग।
it.
लाइक इट्स लाइक काफ़ी पर्सनल है मेरे लिए वो फ़िल्म एक्चुअली। वैसे सो अदर
I think
रिकमेंडेशन?
when we are talking about recommendations for similar kind of movies, uh, to be honest, even in I'm not sure if there are many. Forget Hindi. I mean, in other languages, I'm not sure there are many. I mean, even if there are, at least I'm not aware of those. Now, the the fact of yeah, Sadiq says he loved Bohemian Rhapsody and Whiplash. Whiplash was crazy, yeah, no doubt. And yeah, he loved
यस,
Amadeus.
यस,
I've not seen Amadeus,
बोहेमियन
so
रेप्सोडी।
both the Sadiqs have
अमेडियस,
recommended Amadeus, so I think we'll have to watch it now.
बट अमेडियस वाज ऑन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक, तो वो
Uh,
थोड़ा डिफरेंट हो जाता है। मोजार्ट का वो है। बट लंदन ड्रीम्स मतलब टोटल रीमेक तो नहीं थी, टोटल कॉपी नहीं थी, बट स्टोरी लाइन वहां से इंस्पायर्ड थी, जेलसी की एंड ऑल।
yeah,
तो मतलब अगर
okay.
थीम अगर आप देखो तो वो मजेदार नहीं थी। इट्स नॉट अ मतलब इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ अ फॉरगेटफुल मूवी। इतने अच्छे स्टार
Uh,
कास्ट हो, सलमान और अजय हो, तो डिडंट डू जस्टिस टू इट।
yeah.
इवन आदित्य कपूर की डेब्यू मूवी, आदित्य रॉय कपूर सॉरी।
आदित्य रॉय कपूर एंड रण विजय आल्सो। रोडीज का रण विजय भी था उसमें।
ये चार लोग थे, and then there was
करेक्ट,
Ashin, right? In that,
Asin, yeah, yeah, yeah. She
यस।
was the lead actress.
Ashin was
Yeah.
there. I think, yeah, yeah. I mean, what I was saying was, I don't see there are many, but in terms of putting this film under a category, there are two things. There are two central things. A, this movie can be categorized as a movie about friends, right? Jaise
Yeah,
Dil Chahta Hai tha, it was about three friends. Then Rock On is about a movie about four friends. And then at the center of it, there is also this musical band that binds or connects them together, right? So I think it's a
yeah,
very niche in its own way, and hence probably we don't find many movies centered around a similar theme in let's talk about Hindi cinema as well at the moment. So I think recommendation wise, I think we have had a few of those which we discussed. I personally love School of Rock, and I think that thing you do has to be my one of my most favorite movies. I mean, it's a feel good movie for me. Uh, like Rock On. So I think these are the few of the movies that I've really liked, and probably if you guys have anything else in terms of recommendations, please feel free to share.
अच्छा, मेरे लिए तो एक्चुअली यही था, which I just talked about, जो कि almost famous or A Star Is Born, and even Whiplash as well. Whiplash, it's about just the music, not songs included वैसे, इसलिए, लेकिन yes, Bohemian Rhapsody भी बोला था, लेकिन मैंने अब तक देखी नहीं है, so and I don't know, मतलब वो मुझे तो इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं लग रहा है कि टू जस्ट वॉच अबाउट दैट, लाइक वो फिल्म, लेकिन हु नोज आगे जाके मैं कुछ देख पाऊँ वैसे. सो यस, आई ऑल्सो वांटेड टू आस्क यू अबाउट गाइज कि इस फिल्म की लाइक कैरेक्टर्स आपको लाइक कौन से अच्छे लगे, क्या क्या अच्छा लगा इन कैरेक्टर्स के अबाउट आपको. सादिक, आपसे शुरू करते हैं, अगर आप पूछे कि लाइक आपको
yeah,
कौन से कैरेक्टर्स अच्छे लगे. इट्स अच्छा.
yeah. स्पेसिफिकली अगर चूज करूं तो स्पेसिफिकली मुझे अर्जुन रामपाल सबसे बेस्ट लगा, बिकॉज वो अर्जुन रामपाल का सबसे अच्छा फेज जा रहा था, एंड ही वाज डूइंग सम अमेजिंग मूवीज. उसने करियर के स्टार्ट में बहुत अच्छी मूवी की थी, बट ही नेवर गॉट रिकग्निशन फॉर इट. लाइक करियर के स्टार्ट में उसने जैसे मोक्ष की थी,
Moksha.
आई डोंट, मोक्षा, या जो मतलब बहुत ही, आई थिंक इतनी कोई ज्यादा रिकग्निशन उसको मूवी नहीं मिली थी. उसके बाद भी उसने काफी फिल्में की, बट स्टिल ही डिडंट गेट रिकग्निशन. बट ओम शांति ओम अवार्ड्स एंड रॉक ऑन, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि ही गॉट द जो रिकग्निशन वो डिजर्व कर रहा था. आई थिंक he also got an award for this also, because Om Shanti Om के लिए तो he did get an award, and इसके लिए भी इसको मिला था. So that's why I was highly impressed by him. Then Farhan Akhtar, obviously. Then all the supporting cast were really good. Then the two female leads, Prachi Desai and Shana Goswami. I think Shana Goswami, पहली बार मैंने उसको देखा था, and I was highly impressed by her. मैंने उसके बाद भी उसको देखा है, and she has always done good. तो मुझे लग रहा है ये शाहना गोस्वामी एंड अर्जुन रामपाल, इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्टिंग, लाइक रियली गुड एक्टिंग, दे स्टूड आउट. एंड उसके बाद प्राची देसाई एंड रियली अदर एक्टर्स, एंड दिलीप ताहिल भी आई थिंक था उसमें. तो ओवरऑल सबने अच्छा किया था, एंड दीज कैरेक्टर्स वर रियली गुड.
ओके, विश्वदीप जी आई थिंक शिफ्टिंग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इस आई थिंक
I broke
व्हाट
a
अबाउट
glass,
यू.
so I'm just moving from one place to
अच्छा,
another.
ओह,
या,
अरे बाप रे, आर यू सेफ, मतलब.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good.
ओके 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 ओके. ओके, सो आपको कैसे लगा था, लाइक अबाउट द कैरेक्टर्स ऑफ दिस फिल्म, जस्ट अमेजिंग थिंग्स हैपेंड विद द कैरेक्टर्स, द एंटायर जर्नी ऑफ कमिंग बैक फ्रॉम द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, फ्रॉम जस्ट दिस थिंग. तो
Yeah.
यस, आपको कैसे, लाइक व्हाट अबाउट यू, आपको कैसे लगा आपके यहाँ के कैरेक्टर्स इस फिल्म के.
Um. Again, I think Arjun Rampal won a national award for Rock On, right?
आई थिंक, यस, आई थिंक.
He won, I guess. Yeah, and there were seven to eight nominations for Rock On and
या,
Filmfare. That's what
या,
I was
या,
reading this time. So I think goes without saying that Arjun has done a commendable job in this movie. I mean, it's one of the most memorable movies, especially because his character was at par with the central character, right? It was the rift between him and Farhan that drives the movie. That's which is the center plot of the movie. Uh, but having said that, if you really ask me, uh, my memorable roles from all of these would rest on the two ladies. I think it's Sana Goswami and Prachi Desai. Prachi Desai got a very, I mean, it's a very, uh, I mean, in terms of screen time, it's a very lesser role, right? I mean, but she gets to play a character which connects the dots and brings that band together, right? She is responsible for the entire revival of this brand and the way things end, right? And even though things are not exactly great between her and Farhan in the movie, where Farhan is kind of trapped in his corporate life and is struggling to show any signs of a normalcy in his regular life, because there's something that is affecting him. कुछ तो खटक रहा है उसको, and Prachi playing his wife realizes that and goes to the extent of reuniting everyone together. I think that was one of the most wonderful characters in the movie. It was very well written. At the same time, Shahana Goswami, the reason I say Shahana is because she plays a character uh, which is not without its share of flaws, right? She is vulnerable. She loves Joe, but again, at the same time, when there is a rift, I mean, there is no point of her trying to settle the rift or anything. She's equally a part of the rift because she stands together with Joe, and they take a stand together, and then they move apart, and then the whole band is, disposed of in the first half. तो बाद में when we come towards the end, she's still trying her best to make sure that Joe is productive. Joe कुछ काम नहीं कर रहा है, he's sitting at home, he's sulking into what he could have been. वो वाला phase है उनके life में. They have a grown up, not a grown up son, but I think is a 6-year old or a 7-year old kid at home, and they are struggling because she runs a fishing business, so she's the man of the house. And it's a very I think these are kind of roles that have to be very bitter when you play them, right? You have to play them with utmost I mean, forget any sort of norms, forget any sort of behavioral traits to it. I mean, this role can be anything. At one point of time you are a normal person, at another point of time you suddenly start a squabble with your husband or your wife, and you change your entire tone. And I think Shahana played this character pretty well. I hadn't seen much of her before that. I doubt if there was anything more before this, but as far as I know, it was Prachi and Farhan's debut. So I'm sure Shahana had some other movie credits before this. But I think Arjun से ज़्यादा मुझे शाहना का character अच्छा लगा था. I think hers and Prachi's were one of two most important characters, and of course Arjun did well. And well, Farhan was Farhan, right? It was his debut movie, and we knew this bloke can act. A director can always act. This is what I always feel. A good director will always be a good actor, and I think this holds good for Farhan as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a question for you guys from the our beloved doctor. I feel Rock On is better movie than ZNMD. What say?
I agree. Just because it is dog, I'll agree 10 times more.
Yeah, and
Okay, Sadiq.
I totally agree too. Cause Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Initially, loved it when I watched back in 2011. I highly loved it, and but as time moved on, so I feel ke the rewatch value of Na Milegi Dobara is not there, because the film has flaws. Because first half is good, then it film slows down. Then the film is good again, then slows down, then the climax is good. But Rock On is brilliant throughout. That's the beauty of that. Music is really good of both the movies, no doubt about that. But as a film, Rock On is amazing, and the bonding is real and raw. I mean, all of us can relate. Because Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, I think it focused primarily on the upper middle class or the elite, like the privileged people. But Rock On focused on all different type of classes and mindset of people, for different thought process of people. So I think, yeah, Rock
I,
On is far better, far better.
Sanket, what do you feel?
आई थिंक मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा ZNMD लगती है. लाइक इट्स उसके कैरेक्टर्स काफ़ी रिलेट कर पाता हूँ वो फिल्म से, उसके उस फिल्म के कैरेक्टर से मैं खुद, इसलिए आई आई फील
काफी अमीर है तो.
ZNMD is quite a better film compared to Rock On. Obviously, there like वहाँ पे गाने हैं, but still यहाँ पे भी गाने हैं, but here the songs kind of वो मेल्ट लाइक हो जाते हैं पूरे, लाइक एकदम सॉन्ग्स और फिल्म्स का एक marriage हो जाता है,
Amalgamation.
I would say. So it's quite good for the songs and movie, जैसे old school traditional Bollywood films कैसे रहते हैं वैसे ये फिल्म में था, as compared to ZNMD. like काफी जैसे थे, like there were some songs but it's okay, like वो flow में आ रहे थे, so it like इतना hurt नहीं हो रहा था मुझे वैसे, as compared to like यहाँ पे हर सॉन्ग्स एक अपना एक कहानी सुनाते थे, जैसे बिस्वा आपने बोला था वैसे। सो इट वाज क्वाइट अ गुड फिल्म, लाइक एज कंपेयर्ड टू सम अदर आई थिंक म्यूजिक फिल्म्स एज वेल जो मैंने यहाँ पे देखी थी। आई थिंक मैंने अब तक रॉकस्टार देखी नहीं है, लेकिन लेट्स सी हाउ वो भी कैसी लगती है। ओके,
I
बिस्वा
have,
मुझे
I've
अभी मारेंगे, लेकिन ओके।
okay. There's something just because we are speaking about the cast. There's something else share. So there's a pattern. Like we know Saif's character in Dil Chahta Hai, right? How he was not the central character. How again he was not part of the rift which constitutes the central point, plot point of that movie, right? The similar thing happens with Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, where again Farhan plays a character who is not a part of the actual rift here. I mean, he's kind of the other guy amongst those guys who's pretty casual, pretty cool. He gets the most funniest lines in the movie, like Saif did in Dil Chahta Hai. So I think in a way they had this chance to give Purab Kohli some memorable, funnier lines than the ones that he got. I think this could have been one of the most different characters that could have come up, or probably something which could have been noteworthy. Probably the reason why me or Sadiq didn't speak of Purab Kohli as one of the most memorable written characters. But having said that, Purab Kohli is someone who has the charm to pull it off. I'm sorry if I sound like a fan, but then again, there's a reason why I say this because I see a little bit of Saif from Dil Chahta Hai in him. I can also see a little bit of Farhan from ZNMD in him. So I think that is something that could have been taken care of. I think that was a big miss. And at the same time, Luke Kenny was, I think it was, he played a character who, and of course, there's no spoiler at this moment. I mean, he's the one who, probably dies in the end. And I think. Uh, uh, in a way, they were all four pivotal characters, but again, I'll still stand by the fact that uh, it's the ladies who stole the show, the ones who were
Yeah.
not in the.
Very true. Very true.
Hmm.
And I would agree with Biswa on this part that Purab Kohli deserved some. He was good, but I think yes, he's right that he should have had some memorable lines and a memorable character like Saif had in Dil Chahta Hai, because Purab, as we know, जिसने I think if people have seen Hippe Purre, then they would realize how good an actor he was, and he had massive potential. So I think he was slightly underutilized. I would say massively underutilized, but he could have slightly better opportunity to create more of a better bond than it actually was in Rock On.
Right, right. There
Absolutely,
were a few
absolutely.
comments that we missed,
Um,
Sanket.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, there are quite a few comments over here. Like Doctor say comment है यहाँ पे, though the music of Rock On was not classical rock, more pop than rock, but Rock On really brought a lot of focus on the rock genre among Bollywood fans. और ये सच है इसका भी, I think it's truth about Gully Boy as well, कि
Yeah,
मतलब उस फिल्म के थ्रू सभी को लाइक पीपल बोलते हैं ना कि रैप को पूरा ज़्यादा मेन स्ट्रीम में लाए थे, एंड ये फिल्म के थ्रू भी रॉक जनर को मेन स्ट्रीम बॉलीवुड में लाए थे, और इंटर्न बॉलीवुड के फैंस है उनके में रखे थे।
गली बॉय का मैं यहाँ पे एक थोड़ा कमेंट भी करना चाहूंगा, बिकॉज उस टाइम ये एमी वे बंटा है और ये सारे जो थे ना बहुत पॉपुलर हो गए थे इंडिया में 2018 29 में। तो आई थिंक गली बॉय की टाइमिंग बहुत अच्छी थी कि उस टाइम इंडिया में ये एमी वे बंटा है और कृष्णा और पता नहीं कौन कौन सा, आई डोंट इवन रिमेम्बर द नेम्स, तो वो बहुत ज्यादा मशहूर हो गए थे एंड दे वर गेटिंग मिलियंस ऑफ व्यूज ऑन यूट्यूब। तो उस वजह से आई थिंक गली बॉय को बहुत ज्यादा पॉपुलैरिटी मिल गई एंड रणवीर सिंह भी अच्छा चल रहा था। आई थिंक उस वजह से उस फिल्म को काफी आई थिंक probably it played a really key role in the film becoming a hit. So I think yes, तो उसने
हम्म।
शायद उस फिल्म ने itself काफी elevate करवाया रैप सीन इंडिया में।
ओके, दैट्स फेयर इनफ। आपको
Yeah.
कुछ कहना है लाइक अबाउट डॉक्स, जस्ट कमेंट्स आपको बिस्वा आपको लाइक सर यू फील समथिंग अबाउट टेलिंग शेयरिंग एनीथिंग अबाउट द रॉक जॉनर इफ यू आर सम फैन ऑफ दैट
I'm
पर्टिकुलर
I'm I'm
जॉनर?
no fan of rock genre, Sanket. But the fact is, I know what rock is. I know the kind of music that is associated with rock, and there's a very there's a vast audience for it as well. Unfortunately, I'm not one of it. But the point is, I totally agree with Doc as well. I think uh, when Doc says that it was more pop than rock, probably there's been a reason into it as well. I mean, they wanted to Indianize it to some extent, right? uh, I mean, you could not have like 7 to 8 songs like the मेरी laundry का bill, like पिछले 7 दिनों में. You couldn't have 6 to 7 songs like that, and or any sort of rags to riches or any sort of inspiring track. Of course, there could have been one or two, or maybe there are one or two in the soundtrack. But I think would have been a conscious effort to Indianize this album to suit because it was coming of an age movie. Let's agree to that. It was something which had not been tried before, and so the makers had to make sure that there is some element of relatability to it, and probably that's the reason why we had songs. Even I do remember Rajiv Masand had he had given this movie 3 stars. I used to follow Masand a lot back then. So he had awarded this movie 3 stars, and he had mentioned that this starts off on a brilliant note, but then again it gets a bit like your regular run of the mill Hindi movie. So he had this kind of an impression. Probably the music also gives it a similar feeling, where it kind of doesn't seem like a typical rock album, but yeah, it probably will I'll meet Doc and we'll start calling it pop on instead of rock on.
Yeah,
एक
I
चीज yes, yes,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I also remember when because back then I used to follow Bollywood Hangama quite a lot. Bollywood Hangama and Taran Adarsh a lot. Uska website पे reviews I used to read. I think he also did not give much high ratings, if I'm wrong, because 3.5 दिया था something like that. So it was not highly rated. And I think overall भी the film critically acclaimed था, but I think box office पे इतना नहीं चला था, I guess. और उसके बाद बट या उसको अवार्ड्स वगैरह आगे जाके मिले, बट आई थिंक इनिशियली शायद इतना वो ग्रास्प नहीं कर पाया, कैच नहीं कर पाया, बट एज द टाइम प्रोग्रेस उसके बाद लोगों को उसकी वैल्यू पता चली कि फिल्म ठीक है एक्चुअली में. तो आई थिंक या
Okay.
ये शायद इशू था.
एक
And
चीज
it
थी
was shot very well.
पर्सनली.
Sanket.
या
Sorry, Sanket. So it was shot very well. I
नो नो
think there's
एक
something that we
चीज.
should also discuss. This is the cinematographer is Jason West, right?
या
And Jason West won an award. I think it was a Filmfare Award that he won for Rock On for best
ओह
cinematography.
ओह
And Jason, I know Jason because he has also worked on Dawn 2, which is again very stylishly shot.
यस
He has also taken care of the cinematography for Delhi Belly. I mean, there might
ओह
be more movies, but I think these are the few of the noteworthy movies. And Jason West, again, he like his surname, he comes from the West. He's associated with a lot of English movies as well.
ओके
But again, he was the cinematography behind, responsible for movies like Dawn 2, Delhi Belly, and Rock On. So I think it was very stylish shot. In fact, the songs, especially the one Sindbad the Sailor, the way uh, uh, the lighting, the pyrometics are taken care of in the backdrop when the song is going on and Tum Ho starts playing. I think it was wonderfully shot.
Brilliant. Yeah, I remember. Way ahead of its time. Sinbad the Sailor, the cinematography was way ahead of its time. Even now, I can watch it a million times.
Yeah.
ओके.
Yeah, Sangeet, you were saying something. Sorry, I interrupted you.
नो इट्स ओके एक्चुअली. यही प्लेटफॉर्म है लाइक टू से अबाउट द योर थॉट्स ऑन दिस फिल्म. बट यस, अब एक एक थॉट मेरे पास लाइक था, जैसे डॉक्टर ने अभी एक कमेंट में मेंशन किया था, एंड जस्ट वांटेड टू हाईलाइट कि आप लोग को कैसा लगा था. डॉक्टर को एक लाइन काफ़ी अच्छी लगती है एंड दैट हिट्स हिम ऑलवेज, कि लाइफ डजंट गिव एनी एवरीवन अ चांस टू परस्यू their passion again after so many years. वैसे सो आप लोग को वो एक वो वाला जो लाइक एक स्टोरी लाइन था कि इतने सालों बाद फिर से कुछ ऐसे सिमिलर चीज जो हमारे 20s में कर रहे थे, वैसे वो चीज अभी अपने 30s प्रोबेबली मिड 30s में से कुछ करे, तो वो वाला स्टोरी जैसा कुछ वो था, वो कैसा लगा था आप लोग को? जस्ट
Sadiq, you go first.
Yeah. So yeah, मुझे उस time specifically because I was quite young, 18, 19 का था, and when you are a teenager, when you are very young, so your emotional brain and because you don't have really much exposure of life, तो आपको बहुत ज्यादा वो चीज attract करती है. एंड जब वो इतनी अच्छी तरह शॉट होता है तो वो कुछ ज्यादा अट्रैक्ट करता है. ना अग्री विद रणधीर कि जो स्पेसिफिकली वो जो पॉइंट दिखाया था ना, लाइक व्हेन प्राची सेज टू फरहान एंड उसको वो कहती है कि यू हैड दैट ड्रीम, यू हैड दैट पैशन, तो उसको फॉलो करो, डोंट यू नो यू नो उसकी फिक्र नहीं करो अपने करियर वगैरह की, फोकस ऑन दैट, बिकॉज तो मतलब उसको भी देख फॉलो कर रही होती है ना कि काफी बिटर हो गया एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, वो लाइफ से तो खुश नहीं होता है कि उसका पूरी दिल जान वहां लग चुका था। तो एट दैट टाइम व्हेन आई वाज वाचिंग, तो बहुत ज्यादा आई वाज अटैच्ड टू दैट, एंड स्पेसिफिकली दैट सीन एंड दैट डायलॉग, बिकॉज़ मुझे एग्जैक्ट डायलॉग्स अभी याद नहीं उस मूवी के, बट यस आई डू रिमेम्बर दैट सीन। एंड as Biswa mentioned that वो दो लेडीज का जो कैरेक्टर था उसमें से प्राची, एंड प्राची का जो, इट वाज प्राची's फर्स्ट मूवी, एंड उसको देख के लगा नहीं कि इट्स अ डेब्यू, आई थिंक शी वाज 19-20 मे बी दैट टाइम, एंड शी वाज
She was part of
क्वाइट,
serials, right, Sadiq, before
yeah,
that.
yeah. She only did serials, just like Sushant that time. वो भी serials was he was doing. So she also came from that serials and all, and she looked quite mature for that role, and she did really well. So her impact and her dialogues and the way she motivates Farhan, so I think that was the most important part. And even now, so I can feel that it was very important.
Okay, Biswa?
I think so. That line, like Doc said, मुझे याद नहीं था. Of course, I remember there was some bit of an argument, and this scene follows, और उसमें discussion होता है. And this is one of the most. I mean, thanks to Doc that he reminded me of it as well. So I think the whole point of this dialogue was to show the correlation between your passion and the purpose of your life, right? And there's this wonderful quote. I read a lot of quotes, so I do remember them. I think it goes in the lines of, if you are not trying to, if you're not able to figure out your true purpose in life, I mean, figure out your passion, because if you are figuring out your passion, it will lead you right into your purpose. Right? This is a very famous quote that kind of correlates the two. So in a way, this movie speaks a lot. It has many themes in itself, right? I mean, it speaks about friendship, it speaks about love, it speaks about music, and at the same time, it also speaks about your purpose, your passion, and how you are never short of time if you really have to pursue your passion, or or rekindle it. So I think it's one of the most hard hitting themes of this particular movie. I can totally relate to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one last thing, just before wrapping this up, एक चीज पूछनी थी. Obviously इस फिल्म का सीक्वल निकला है. I also want to talk about, क्योंकि उस पे तो थोड़ा डालना ही चाहिए, like थोड़ा डिस्कशन एटलीस्ट होना ही चाहिए कि what do you guys think about that sequel which just came out with Shraddha Kapoor? मैंने तो जरा भी नहीं देखी है. मुझे हिम्मत भी नहीं हुई वो फिल्म देखने की, क्योंकि द मेमोरी ऑफ द फर्स्ट फिल्म इज क्वाइट फ्रेश फॉर मी, और उस मेमोरी को मैं बर्बाद नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, बिकॉज आई हैव रेड सम रिव्यूज which are stating that it's not as good as the first one. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's okay. ये नहीं देखते तो बेहतर रहेगा वैसे. But yes,
So
you guys, Biswa,
I've not seen Rock On 2. Uh, the reviews. So even if you go to Rock On ka Wikipedia page, which I did, I wanted to get a few details. It clearly states at the bottom that there was a sequel release in Rock On 8 years later or 6 years later, called Rock On 2, which largely opened to negative reviews, and they leave it at that. So I think that's what I'll do with it as well. I'll probably give it a skip. Uh, but I think they had a theme, right? Sadiq, is there any chance that you have seen it? Because I believe there was a particular theme in this movie as well about, was it the Northeast or anything of that sort, or
I
any sort of
remember,
instance?
I only remember that a friend told me that Farhan Akhtar was doing farming in that movie or something. He became a farmer, and later on again he pursued that music thing and stuff. और श्रद्धा लेकर आती है, पता है, I don't remember it. I think yeah, Northeast का कुछ था and something like that. But वही I thought के that that the film was not engaging enough, तो मैंने भी नहीं देखा. I was not interested.
Uh,
It's a coincidence that none of us have watched it.
yeah, so we are not doing any podcast on Rock on 2, Sanket.
Hopefully not.
At least not three of us.
absolutely. नहीं नहीं, सच में नहीं, मैंने नहीं देखी है, सो आई वुडंट टॉक अबाउट दैट. बट यस, वन लास्ट थिंग, जो मतलब ये एक्चुअली लास्ट थिंग थी, लेकिन डॉक्टर ने बहुत अच्छी चीज मेंशन की थी, जो बिस्वा ने पहले मेंशन की थी, कि फरहान अख्तर्स raspy voice raspy singing voice was fresh to hear in Rock On. Later when started singing more, it got irritating. What are your thoughts on that, Biswa?
I think he has heard Doc. He's not singing anymore. At least I don't hear him singing. मैंने तो नहीं सुना
हाँ,
है.
I
But
think
yeah, I
वज़ीर
like
के
his voice.
बाद
Like
कोई songs नहीं है, I think so, yes.
I think
I
Farhan
like his
ने
voice.
बात I think Farhan was good with these rock and all that songs, but जब slow गाने आते like proper classical music आता Farhan struggles there. Because I remember दिल धड़कने दो में he sang two songs. एक तो वो title song था, फिर वो था फिर भी ये जिंदगी. तो फिर भी ये जिंदगी में Farhan didn't sing that well because फिर भी ये जिंदगी was a beautiful song and probably the best song of दिल धड़कने दो. मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगा था. And probably the best and probably the best short song. और वो आई थिंक सही तरह इंक्लूडेड भी नहीं था मूवी में बिकॉज कुछ अगर प्रॉपर सॉन्ग आप सुनो तो थोड़ा कट किया हुआ है उसमें से तो उसमें फरहान
Sadiq,
ने आई थिंक फरहान saying that सॉरी
Sadiq. So there's another what do you call Easter egg here. So I think you just that you mentioned Dil Dhadakne Do. Wasn't that also a part of the lyrics of Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara?
हाँ हाँ हाँ, वो शो दिल धड़कने दो तो टाइटल टाइटल नहीं सॉरी बट फर्स्ट सॉन्ग था मूवी का दिल उसका ZNMB का
Dil ZNMB
दिल
ka Dil
धड़कने दो
Dhadakne Do.
या when all these three friends meet
Meet up. Yeah.
Correct,
so yeah
correct,
दिल
correct.
धड़कने दो exactly true
Yes,
so yeah
yes. Just thank you so much, Sadiq Biswa, to for coming to my channel. Um, बहुत अच्छा लगा आप दोनों आए और इस मेमोरेबल फिल्म के बारे में आप दोनों ने बहुत अच्छी बात की एंड इट्स क्वाइट अ गुड फिल्म ऐसी सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ फिल्म आई होप कुछ आए जैसे कुछ फील्स ऐसे दिलाए हाउ वी आर इनटू we are going to that journey with that band that particular band जो कैसे like कैसे म्यूजिक आगे आगे जाके प्ले करते हैं इन ऑन द रोड गोइंग ऑन द रोड जैसे ऑलमोस्ट फेमस में जब ये हमें देखने मिला था एंड आई स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड बिस्वा टू वॉच दैट फिल्म एज वेल so thank you guys so much for coming and hopefully see you soon in another episode of mine
yeah
discussing some more
Thank you, Sanket. Thank you,
thank
Sadiq.
you guys thank you Biswa, thank you
Last but
Sanjay.
not the least,